Tell us about the accuracy of the DEXA, if it's a good start. And secondly, what a TOFI is.
Yeah. So my comment would be, did he do anything about it?
He did, and he's reduced it significantly. And we put in place because he was a cyclist and he was exercising, really hard. He was always looked at, he was lean, but he was having muffins and, bread rolls every single day. And
Well,
so
it's super fortunate that he had you to help him out. Do you think how much of a influence do you think you played there, Steve, in him helping understand what he had to do?
no, I think 100% he wasn't even aware of it. He hadn't done a DEXA. DEXA is only coming to South Africa in the last probably 9 months. And so taking him there, explaining to him about visceral adipose tissue, you've been part of that journey because I've been following you for a while and saying, listen, we've got to get your visceral adipose tissue down. He made the changes, and within 3 months, he's cut it by half already. So, and it's been hard for him because he's been having muffins for I don't know how long and bread rolls every single day. And he's always been, well, I cycle, I exercise 7 days a week. I'm fit, I'm strong. I'm the best in my category. He finishes in the top of races, but he was ingesting the wrong foods and was his
Uh-huh.
nutrition wasn't up there. And he was quite shocked to see that he had 3 times more visceral fat than I did.
Well, the DEXA scan is probably on average about half the cost or maybe a third of the cost of an MRI scan, but it only gives you your visceral fat and numeric representation. Doesn't image at all or quantify your heart fat. And so here's a guy with a big chunk of fat. He came to me at 53 and he repeated this scan about a year and a half later, significant reduction in his heart fat. So this is what an MRI will allow you to see that difference instead of just a number. And this was his abdominal scan, all that white when he came in, and he had a repeat scan afterwards, and you could see how much dramatic reduction he had in his abdominal scan, but also his legs. This guy was a Steve, a professional football player, the biggest type, the offensive lineman. They're the strongest and biggest on an American football team. His legs look like Wagyu beef by the time he's 53. He had all these streaks of fat. But again, when he did his repeat scan, significant improvement in his scan, and he had cortical growth increase in his bone. So that's another advantage that we can see in that MRI scan. But look at what happened to his face during this time. So
Wow.
significant improvement from his face here when he came to me to 1 year later, how much he improved his face. So you just won't get these kind of effects with a DEXA scan. They're not going to grab you and help you make decisions. There are hundreds of thousands of DEXA scans being done, and the vast majority of people get a number and then never do anything about it. They don't have a friend that can engage them and help them, tell them, this is what you got to do. And this is how, if you make these strategies, these changes, you'll significantly improve it. But it really does come down significantly to this inflammatory fat that goes through your body and destroys your body slowly, trickle, and you don't even realize that this is happening. It's so compelling, slowly inside of you, and it's being ignored. So let me just show you this really interesting relationship between faces and visceral fat that nobody your viewers will have never seen this before, but it's incredibly compelling and it's important, I think, to show. So let me just pull this image up and allow your viewers to see it. So here are two different MRI scans. So I've shown you how visceral fat inflames the faces of people. This is one guy. Here's another guy. They've got different amounts of visceral fat because they're different individuals. Try to imagine how inflamed looking these faces are. Pure imagination, maybe you're AI, and you're just going to try to figure out what these faces are going to look like. And if you're watching this podcast, do the same thing. All right. I'm talking to you, everybody in the audience. Imagine what these faces are going to look like. So I'll give you a few seconds. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to put their faces right next to it. Okay. You guys ready?
Yeah,
They're kids.
crazy.
This is happening to kids because now they're eating sugary cereals and waffles and pancakes and syrup and all these carbohydrates and processed foods, but they look like just standard average kids. They're walking by you in the shopping mall. And I have permission to show their photographs from their parents because their parents want you to see this. And I'm talking to you. So you're aware of what's happening and what happened to you in your life and is happening to kids all over. But watch what happens when visceral fat leaves these kids' faces. Look how much they change.
Totally different.
Completely different kids. Their thin little pale lips now big, beautiful red saturation of their hemoglobin molecules now beautifully saturated with oxygen, very, very rich blood. This is health when you get rid of visceral fat. It doesn't just happen to middle-aged people, it happens to old people, and it happens to children. And so the family that these kids were part of all came together with me, and they brought their grandparents. Wanted everybody to see how much they improved. So this is the mom when she came to me, the mom today.
Wow.
Beautiful, how much she improved her face. And here's grandpa. Grandpa could barely walk when he came to me. And look at grandpa now. He looks like he's kind of like a movie star. This is what happens. Old, middle-aged, or young, you get rid of this deadly inflammatory fat and you just improve your face. Here's grandma. She looks like just an older lady. But now she looks like an elegant older lady. What do you want to be when you grow up? When you're older? Do you want to be old and diseased? Or do you want to maintain some elegance and influence for whatever you do? So I work with high-end clients who are purposing to be the best biological version of themselves, to be better influencers. The average person just won't get this. They'll listen to this and they'll be eating popcorn like it's some sort of an entertaining, podcast. But there's a rare person out there that says, this makes total sense. I want to be the best biological version of myself. I want to be a better influencer. Sales is important to me. Leadership is important to me. I'm a political officer. Whatever you do, if that's the type of personality I have, you really need to get rid of your visceral fat. And we would be interested in maybe working with you. So that's what I do. I enjoy leveraging people that are trying to become better influencers, because how healthy you are is portrayed in your face and appearance of your body. And it tells the story of how well you're living. And if you're living well, people pay more attention to you. You're more of an influencer because in their mind, they have software that's been developed over the course of hundreds of thousands of years that tell humans to pay attention to healthy appearing humans because they may make you live better yourself. So we're hunters, and we think that people that look really healthy might help us hunt better. And today, that's making money, earning a living. So we pay attention to the man or woman that appears more biologically optimized, more healthy. So that's what I do. I leverage that trait in people that are influencers to get them more healthy so that they can be more influential in their lives.